My name is Holly Wiedemann. I'm president of AU Associates, Incorporated in Lexington, Kentucky. Tax credits are critically important to our projects, and all of the historic projects that we've done. I've been in business now for 21 years, and we focus on adaptive reuse, the adaptive reuse of historic buildings into alternative uses. And if it weren't for historic tax credits, these projects wouldn't happen. The state credit has helped, and every bit of these projects, every time you put one together, you have to cobble together multiple sources of funding. And the state tax credit plays an important role in closing that gap and also reducing the reliance on other federal sources that are much more equity driven. The state historic tax credits in other states, in Missouri, in Rhode Island, have a 25% credit, which is, some legislators would say, that's really expensive. But in fact, the fact of the matter is it acts as a leverage and brings in 4 times more per dollar than that credit itself can be. So it's bringing equity to the state. It's bringing equity from a federal level on the state historic tax credits and the federal historic tax credits, so it's critically important. We're doing a project right now that, interestingly, is a 1914 school building. It has a slate roof. It's in immaculate condition, even though it was abandoned. The fact that it was built so well in 1914 is a testament to its adaptive reuse today. The first floor of it will be an Appalachian Regional Medical Clinic with a dental office and a pharmacy, and this is in a rural community. The second floor of it will be 19 units for seniors on fixed incomes. So not only does it serve this community, it serves senior residents, it serves the entire community because of the medical facilities, and it's a very symbiotic use. So between those uses, it's a fabulous representation of adaptive reuse. And once again, we're using historic tax credits. So that's generating a significant amount of equity for this development. Interestingly, Sherwin-Williams is the purchaser of the tax credits, and as a partial exchange for their return, we'll also be using Sherwin-Williams products throughout the building. So it's a win-win situation for the community, for the investor, and most of all for the residents and the people that use that building. Midway was one of our first projects. Believe it or not, that's almost 14 years old. And this particular project in Midway, the town was looking for an alternative use of this well-loved structure because it had really become a liability to the community, and they wanted to have it returned to be an asset, but they didn't know how to do it. So they contacted us, and we were able to put together the financing utilizing historic tax credits and housing tax credits to create 24 apartments for seniors. And out of those 24, 10 are market rate and 14 are for seniors on fixed incomes. It has made a huge difference to this community of Midway. In fact, when you drive by it today, it looks just as it did, only better, in 1924, which is the year that was built. We've done small schools in other rural communities, one in Beattyville, one in Irvine, Kentucky, 2 in Glasgow, one of which won an award this spring from the National Development Council in DC because of the profound economic impact that it has on these rural areas. So over the course of our adaptive reuse and the history of AU Associates, we have created more than 5,400 jobs throughout the Commonwealth, and that's a huge economic impact. That would actually allow us to do more projects. It would allow the allocation of resources to be spread much further. It also brings more investment dollars into the state of Kentucky, which other states that have no caps and that allow a 25% state return have far more development and are able to attract far more federal dollars that are not a drain on the state's resources. So it is a huge asset to the Commonwealth of Kentucky to bring additional equity investors in from all over the country who would be participating and actively purchasing these state historic tax credits as well as the federal. Our historic buildings more and more, I think, reflect the character, and if we don't know where we came from, we don't know where we're going. And the importance of these buildings in small towns, in large towns, reflect our culture, our character, and people simply feel more comfortable in areas that they enjoy and that they are familiar with. What I love about what I get to do is, having created this company, AU Associates, 21 years ago, we have grown from a one-person company to now a full-service development company that we have our own construction company. We have our own development team, and we now have 12 people that work there. I have had, particularly during this economic downturn, because we have just been innovative about creating new non-traditional forms of equity. I've had so many people come up to me, workers, construction guys, and say, you know what, this project is what's keeping my family fed. This is how I have food on the table. And by that same token, the residents who live in these buildings have come up and said to us repeatedly, we love where we live. I went to school here. I taught here. My grandchildren went here. My children went here. And your company has brought back life to our community. And for that, we are forever grateful. So for me, it's really rewarding. It's rewarding in what we do. I am so fortunate to have a terrific team to work with who share the same passion I do. And we love doing it.